Hey everyone, thank you to WWE Fans 1993 Monday Night Raw recap video. I'm WWE Fan 1993. Thank you for checking me out live. We are going over Monday Night Raw from June 29th, 2020. It was a great Raw that kicked off a very hectic start. So we came live on the USA Network and we already saw the double contract signing take place. We see the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Boss Sasha Banks, and with her tag team partner in WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, and they are going at it with the Raw Women's Champion Asuka, a lot of champions. And this is supposed to be a double contract signing where Drew McIntyre and Asuka were going to sign the contracts with Dolph Ziggler and Sasha Banks for their respective matches at Extreme Rules, the horror show. So we come out, Sasha and Asuka are going at it. Bayley's helping Sasha. Samoa Joe and other officials come in trying to restore order, but you know, it takes a bit. And then finally Dolph Ziggler comes out and he basically introduces Drew McIntyre. Drew comes out. They take their seats, and Ziggler says that he's going to do what he does best at Extreme Rules, the horror show, and that is survive. He says that Drew's 19-year redemption story will disappear just like that. He says he created Drew, and at Extreme Rules he will destroy him. And then Dolph signs the contract. Drew McIntyre stands up. The WWE Champion stands up. He says the match is official. He responds to Dolph, and he says that he hasn't figured out why Ziggler needs a title so bad. He's never had that center of attention he's always wanted because he always drops the ball when he's close to the finish line. Harsh words from Drew. He says he's going to hurt Ziggler and slaughter him. Ziggler will lose, and he will lose because of McIntyre. He goes on and says that he will let Dolph Ziggler pick the stipulation for their match at Extreme Rules. Ziggler responds, and Asuka starts talking and screaming at him and speaking Japanese. She laughs at Bayley, and she signs the contract. Sasha addresses Asuka, and she says Asuka is not who she faced. Banks is not who Asuka has faced before. Banks says that she will become Banks 2 belts at Extreme Rules, and that she and Bayley will take over the whole damn company. She signs the contract and stamping it with her own stamp. Bayley, makes fun of Asuka, so Asuka attacks her. They start fighting. Dolph tries to super kick Drew, but he catches it. Drew goes to hit Ziggler with a Claymore, but Ziggler escapes. What a chaotic start to Monday Night Raw. We're seeing build up for Extreme Rules, and we'll see the main event made in a little bit. We take a look at how Andrade and Angel Garza attacked the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, last week. And Angel Garza is backstage, and he's trying to give a rose to the woman referee. Zelina Vega and Andrade also appear. And Charlie Caruso walks up and continues this sort of flirtatious vibe with Garza, asking him what he was talking to the referee about. Zelina makes fun of Charlie, calls her, isn't it like too tough Chuck, something like that. Too buck Chuck was what she called her. Charlie asks if Andre and Garza think they're ready next for a title shot if they win tonight. Andrade says they do. Big Show shows up. He disrespects Andrade and Garza and says he's up next so he can address Randy Orton. Big Show walks off, and Zelina Vega is not happy about this. We find out that the main event tonight will be the Raw Women's Champion Asuka and the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre against a team of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, the Boss Sasha Banks, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, Big Show comes out, he gets right to business, and he calls out Randy Orton, but Zelina Vega, Andrade, and Angel come out. Big Show apologizes for interrupting their interview, but he says he's not in the mood to play tonight, and if they get in his way, it will be bad news for them. Garza and Andrade continue to talk to Big Show, laughing at him. Big Show says that he has boots older than Garza. They mock him for being a so-called legend. Garza says Big Show will learn what Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, found out last week. Big Show's ready to fight, but Zelina says the Big Show will now find out what happens when you disrespect them. Garza and Andrade surround the ring, and Zelina Vega says you can say hello to Christian and WWE Hall of Famer Edge in their retirement home. Ric Flair comes out, the Nature Boy. He smiles. He says he has respect for Zelina, Angel Garza, and Andrade, but he needs to have a word with his old friend, the Big Show. The Nature Boy praises Randy Orton, says he will take on the Big Show whenever he wants to. Ric Flair says he's doing Randy's light work right now, but Randy's in the back and will come out when he feels like it. Ric Flair taunts Big Show by saying he's been busy making cartoons for Netflix. He also says the Big Show's stupid, and he tells Zelina Vega to take Andrade and Garza and have some fun at the Big Show's expense. Big Show tells him to bring it on, but before that goes on, the Viking Raiders come out, and the two of them and the two teams brawl. So now we're having a commercial break. We come back. The Viking Raiders are taking on Andrade and Angel Garza. It was a pretty good match. There was a miscommunication between Andrade and Garza, and Andrade went to leave Garza, but Zelina pulled him back in, and Andrade stopped Arvar, there was a wing clipper by Angel Garza. He hit Eric in the middle of it, and he pinned him. So these guys might be #1 contenders for the tag titles. This is a good match. I like both the teams of the Viking Raiders, and I like Angel Garza and Andrade, and I love Zelina Vega, so perfect. So we see how Lana helped Natalya beat Liv Morgan last week. We also see how Ruby Riott tried to talk to Liv after the match, but Liv walked off. We see the Iconics approaching Ruby Riott backstage. They taunt her for still not having any friends after all these years. The Iconics call Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan losers. And then Ruby Riott taunts the Iconics for losing their WWE Women's Tag Title shot match last week. She challenges one of them to meet her in the ring, and then the other can carry the one that got beat up to the back. And then Riott goes, Iconic, and makes fun of them. I think mine's terrible, but it's okay. Zelina Vega is backstage trying to talk to Andrade Angel Garza. Ric Flair shows up and says they had a good win. He has an idea and he wants to talk to them about it. So next, the WWE 24/7 title is on the line as the champion Akira Tozawa, the newly crowned WWE 24/7 champion, defends his title against R-Truth. This is a very quick match. To be honest, I'm not really digging this. It's kind of boring, but it is what it is. So basically, Tozawa runs back and the ninjas attack Truth, and basically Truth acts like he's hurt and he rolls up Tozawa for the win. I'm happy that this match was over quick because I was not looking forward to it. So now Seth Rollins comes out with Murphy. He has a Rey Mysterio mask. He says basically he tried to give Rey a chance to leave on his own terms. He says he must ask Rey for forgiveness. He must become a sacrifice for Raw. Rollins was forced to take a piece from Rey each time he gets in the ring. And Rollins says he will break Rey down piece by piece until there's nothing left but a memory. Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic appear on the big screen from their home. Rey asks forgiveness for his son for what he has to do to Rollins. Rey goes on and says that what he will do to Rollins won't be fate. It will be by design. Dominic says he forgives his dad, but he will never forgive Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins will never forgive what his dad has done to them. Rollins gives Dominic credit for his strong words, saying Rey has taught him well, except for one life lesson. Be careful what you wish for. Seth Rollins says if Dominic keeps getting involved, he will be forced to end Dominic's career before it begins. Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo come out, and Mysterio says it looks like Seth has some company, and they start a match. Basically, Rollins says this ends now, and they have a tag match. So it's the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and his disciple Murphy against Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. And it was a pretty good back-and-forth match. Rollins and Murphy ended up winning after Rollins hit a curb stomp on Carrillo. After the match, when things kind of got a little bit chaotic, Aleister attacked Rollins and Murphy, but Murphy made the save. They double-team Aleister. They throw him into the timekeeper's area. Rollins orders Murphy to take Carrillo to the ringside area for a payback for sticking up for Rey. They put Humberto into the steel ring steps, but Humberto fights back. Murphy ends up dropping Carrillo with half of the steps. Rollins puts Rey's mask onto Carrillo and talks down to him. They drag Carrillo to the steps. Rollins says this is for the greater good. He goes to put Humberto onto the edge of the steps, but Aleister makes a save. Aleister gets dropped, and Rollins hits a stomp on the steps to Carrillo. So Seth Rollins and Murphy are making more enemies with Humberto Carrillo as the weeks go on. We then get a quick video package from Friday Night SmackDown's tribute to The Undertaker. Very nice. We then see Ruby Riott backstage, and Lana approaches her. Lana brings up how the Iconics were being rude to her earlier. Lana says she knows how hard it is not to have friends, but Riott interrupts Lana and says, "I'm not buying what Lana is selling. Go ruin someone else's career." Lana then talks about how Natalya inspired her to get off the couch. She praises Natalya for having more wins than even WWE Hall of Famer Lita. Lana says we need a leader, and Natalya is that leader. So next, we see the one-on-one match. Ruby Riott goes one-on-one against Peyton Royce with Peyton's partner, Billie Kay, at ringside. Peyton wins with a big kick to the head, an amazing spinning brainbuster. It was so cool. I loved it. I thought this was one of the highlights of Raw. She had an amazing spinning brainbuster. Peyton wins, and they basically make fun of Riott after the match. We go backstage to Big Show. He talks about the 2-on-1 handicap match that was signed, Andrade and Angel Garza against the Big Show tonight on Monday Night Raw. Big Show says he knows Randy Orton and Ric Flair have a plan. He talks about Ric Flair is the dirtiest player in the game for many years, and now that Ric Flair is mentoring Randy Orton, he welcomes the talent. He wants Orton to step in the ring and find out why he's the Big Show. As far as Andrade and Angel Garza go, they picked the wrong night because they're getting an angry giant tonight, not the friendly Big Show. So now we have the 2-on-1 handicap match. Andrade and Angel Garza with Zelina Vega is taking on the Big Show. This is a good match. Basically, Big Show won. He hit Andrade with a choke slam and he pinned him after the match. Big Show stood over Andrade. He grabs Andrade and delivers a knockout punch, and that's it. We then see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander with Apollo Crews. R-Truth walks up. He's alone over his 24/7 title. Truth says he finally got away from Akira Tozawa and the Ninja, or did he? And next we have Apollo Crews, the WWE United States Champion, going one-on-one against MVP, who has Bobby Lashley in his corner. MVP won this match after Lashley distracted Apollo Crews, and he hit Crews with a fisherman suplex for the win. After the match, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander run down, and then we go to a break and we come back and we see Bobby Lashley taking on Ricochet. A pretty decent match. I'm really upset with Ricochet continuing to get buried, but WWE writers for you. So he applies a full Nelson on Ricochet, and that's how Bobby Lashley wins. And then Bobby Lashley ends up ragdolling Cedric Alexander with a full Nelson. So now Dolph Ziggler is backstage with Sasha Banks and Bayley. He wants to take the reins and be like a player coach for tonight's main event. Sasha recalls how Ziggler was just on SmackDown losing to Otis with Mandy Rose. Bayley says Sasha is trying to tell Ziggler not to screw this up. So next we have the main event, the mixed tag team match. The Boss, Sasha Banks, and Dolph Ziggler against the Raw Women's Champion Asuka and the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. And this is a great mixed tag match, back and forth. And what ends up happening is Sasha ends up getting a quick roll-up on Asuka, winning the match, gaining momentum going into Extreme Rules of Horror show. This is a pretty decent Raw. Not my favorite. I'm going to give this one a 75. That's my grade. I think a 7.5 is what I gave it on my Smack Talk episode. I give it a 7.5 again out of 10. It was good, not great. I'm more excited for NXT, the Great American Bash, but things aren't looking up. We're seeing movements in the Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio storyline. It looks as though Big Show might take on Randy Orton at Extreme Rules. Who knows? Sasha Banks and Asuka is moving along. Bobby Lashley and the MVP. So we're seeing a lot of good stuff. Peyton Royce, amazing. So Raw wasn't bad, wasn't great. But thank you for tuning in. And I will be back soon next week with another Monday Night Raw recap. But I will also be having a recap video of NXT, the Great American Bash. I will also be doing a prediction video for Fyter Fest, as well as a recap to Fyter Fest as well. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you stay notified when new content becomes public. Thank you so much. Remember, WWE Fan 1993, subscribe, have a great day, and stay safe.